Good day, and thank you for watching. If you are involved in a family law case in California and a domestic violence restraining order, often called a DVRO, is part of the situation, there is something you need to understand right away. This is not just a side issue. It can affect custody, visitation, living arrangements, and even long-term rights. Let's start with the basics. A domestic violence restraining order is a court order designed to protect someone from abuse. Now, abuse in California is defined broadly. It does not only mean physical violence, it can include threats, harassment, stalking, disturbing the peace, or controlling behavior. That means actions that some people may not immediately recognize as violence can still fall under this category. Now, here is the absolute key. There are different stages of a restraining order. The first is often a temporary restraining order, or TRO. This can be issued quickly, sometimes without the other party present, based on the information provided to the court. It is meant to provide immediate protection. But keep in mind, it is temporary. A hearing will be scheduled where both sides have the opportunity to present evidence. That hearing determines whether a longer-term restraining order will be issued. Here's where many people make a mistake. They do not take the temporary order seriously. They assume they will explain everything at the hearing. But the temporary order already sets a tone, and what happens next is critical. Now let's talk about what a restraining order can include. It can require one person to stay away from the other. It can remove someone from a home. It can restrict communication between the parties. And in some cases, it can affect custody and visitation. This is especially important in cases involving children. Now let's focus on custody. In California, if a court finds that domestic violence has occurred, it can create what is called a rebuttable presumption against awarding custody to the person who committed the violence. That means the court starts with the assumption that awarding custody to that person may not be in the child's best interest. Overcoming that presumption requires evidence, and it is not automatic. Now let's talk about evidence. In a restraining order hearing, both sides can present evidence. That may include testimony, messages, photos, witness statements, or other documentation. The court will evaluate that evidence and decide whether the legal standard has been met. Here's where preparation truly matters for your case. This is not just about telling your side of the story. It is about supporting it with documented evidence. Now let's address another important point: credibility. The court is evaluating not just what is said, but how it is said and whether it is consistent. Credibility plays a significant role. Inconsistent statements or lack of supporting evidence can affect the outcome. Now let's talk about consequences. If a long-term restraining order is granted, it can last for several years. It can affect where you live, how you interact with the other party, and your rights related to children. It can also have implications outside of family law, including background checks and other areas. Now let's talk about the specific legal strategy. If you are seeking a restraining order, you need to present clear and specific information. What happened? When did it happen? What evidence supports your claim? General statements are not enough. If you are responding to a request for a restraining order, you need to address the allegations directly. Provide your own evidence to support your position, and be prepared to present your position clearly. Now let's talk about communication. Once a restraining order is in place, even temporarily, you must follow it. Do not attempt to contact the other party in violation of the order. Even if the other party initiates contact, violating a restraining order can create additional legal problems. Now let's look at the bigger picture. Domestic violence restraining orders are serious. They are designed to provide protection, but they also have significant legal consequences, and they often intersect with other issues in a family law case. That's why they must be handled carefully. Finally, let's talk about timing. These legal cases move quickly, and timing is essential. Temporary orders are issued, hearings are scheduled, and decisions are made. That means you need to act quickly, but also thoughtfully. Preparation and understanding are key. In conclusion, if a domestic violence restraining order is part of your case in California, you need to understand its impact. It is not just about protection. It is about how the court views the situation. It can affect custody, living arrangements, and long-term outcomes. Understanding the process, preparing your case, and following the law are critical steps. Call us at 888-888-6582. I'm Vince Davis, and we are all in this together.